Hi everyone. Today we're going to discussing about the next session of this computer network. In the previous session, we discussing about what is the different kinds of networking topologies and what are the types of communications we discussed in the previous sessions. So today's sessions we are going discussing about this what is internet network and what is the major role to place a design of computer network in the topology kind of services. So here what is internet network? So an internet network is defined as while we connecting this two or more computer network, the network should be either LAN connection or a MAN connection or WAN connection. So in previous sessions we discussing about this the network communication connections, which is LAN connection, MAN connection, WAN connection, as well as we discussing about this PAN connection. So all these networks are plays a major role to design a computer network. So in the internet network also, which is defined as a two or more computer network, there should be the LAN connections or WAN connections or any other computer network, which means any kind of computer network is plays a key role. So this is using the internet communication path values only. So here they are using the confidence of this local addressing schema mechanism. So here while we connecting these LAN connections or MAN connection with local addressing, that part we calling as a inter-networking communication path. So what is inter-network? Which means it defined as while we connecting this communication path between the LAN connection or MAN connection or WAN connection. Because of this one, we can able to establish one kind of local addressing. That part we calling as a inter-networking communication path. At the same time, an interconnection is placed between a public and private commercial, industrial and a government computer networks, which we forming as a inter-networking path. So tomorrow while discussing about this communication path, so what is communication path? While discussing about this a commercial networking communications or a government networking websites like .gov.ins or any kind of institutions like ac.in. So all these things are forming as an interconnection path values only, that we calling as a inter-networking. So while establishing these kind of communication path, we calling as we are some kind of protocols. That protocols we calling as a internet protocol values only. So in the internet protocols, there are different kinds of techniques are there, different kinds of types are there. One is extra connect network, another is intra connect network, which is extrareal connection, another is interior connection, which is internet communication path values only. And the next one, the topologies. What is topologies? Topologies is defined as a structure of network. So while discussing about this previous sessions, we discussing about this different kinds of structures are there. So in the structures there are many kind of structures we are using network to establishing a communication path. We are establishing different kinds of topology networking path, which calling as a structure of network. That structure of network while establishing, which is connected to interconnecting to each other part values, that we calling as a topology part. A topology which means we are able to communicate, we are able designing a networking path, we are using these kind of topology services. So in the network topology, we have n number of services are there, but majorly we are using these are the major kind of services. One is bus topology, ring topology, tree topology, star topology, mesh topology, as well as hybrid topology services. So in the next session, next coming slides, we are going discussing about each and every individual networks. So what is bus topology? Bus topology, which apparently saying that one a single communication path values only. When you go into this network is acting as a backbone of my communication path. So while the information transmitting from source to destination, so the information is entering into this backbone communication path values only. So here every station we are able to transmit information from one by one order values only. So this path, this networking path may be a bidirectional communication path. So which means the information is transmitted from source to destination. So this path is placing a key role of my communication path. So what are the backbone communication? What are the backbone cables connected to my server connections or LAN connections or client connections? The information shading over here. So this is placing key role. That the reason we calling as the backbone of my cable. This is either we are using some kind of cable connections or Ethernet cables. All these things comes to this bus topology kind of services. So generally IEEE 802.3 or 802.4, which is Internet Ethernet communications, we are using this bus topology services. And second one is a ring topology. When you see this one, the topology, the communication networking architecture is communication in the form of this a ring kind of structure values only. So here, when you see this one, every station, every LAN connections, every client connection is connected in the ring manner values only. So here we are calling as a unidirectional system is connected over here. What is unidirectional? A one-way transmission is communication from the next station. So what are the communications we have? What information this system we have, this client we have, the information sharing to the next system. So this information sharing to the next system, this should be in the form of this a loop kind of structure values only. So after the completion of loop, which means then the information is closed. But what are the information they have? The information is continuously loop kind of structure values only. This is a endless kind of structure values only. The information is completely sharing between these the client presence in the network presence in the system values only. So what are the systems presence over there? Whether this n number of systems are presence over here, the information is sharing between this n number of system values and n number of client values only. That is the reason we calling as a unidirectional communication. So but what is the advantage of this bus topology and ring topology? And the bus topology is a very easily I can able to establishing this kind of architecture path. But while coming to ring topology, the information is sharing in the form of this a loop structure in the for loop kind of structure values only, is a endless process values only. That is a major difference between the bus topology values as well as the ring topology values. And the next one we calling as a star topology. What is star topology? When you see in the sense here one kind of hub situation is there. So this is my based upon this hub values. From this hub, I can able to communicate this n number of server values only, n number of client values only. So this hub plays a vital role to share the information. From this hub to we can able to share the information to what are the networks, what are the systems present in this network architecture. That we calling as a star topology, which means the information is sharing in the form of this a star architecture path values only. For example, here n number of client servers are there. N number of clients are there and one hub system is there. The n system, the hub is sharing information between this n number of client system, n number of systems or n number of clients presence in this network architecture path. That we calling as a star topology. But while coming this tree topology, when you see this one, here we calling as a some kind of backbone cable as well as it is similar to my bus architecture values only, bus topology architecture values only. And this we calling as a it's similar to my star topology values only, which means one hub values is there, n number of clients are there. So the information sharing between the star topology, which means the hub to my n number of clients. So here the tree topology, which is I'm using two similar kind of structure values, two similar kind of topology values. One is bus topology value, second one is star topology value. So the tree topology is apparently we calling as a combination of two different topology. One is bus topology and second one is star topology. So in the bus topology, what are the cable is present over there? Whether there should be Ethernet cable or some kind of LAN cable. So what are the cable is present over there? From this cable, we are able to segregate into the information segmentation between these n number of star topology services values only. So here I can use this is the n number of server system and this is another n number of server system. Similarly, I am using this n number of backbone cable connected with my tree kind of structure values only. That we calling as a tree topology. What is tree topology? Tree topology, which means is a combination of my bus topology values as well as my star topology values. So, but what is the advantage of this tree topology? Tree topology can able to share information between this n number of systems at a time. But what is the disadvantage? To establish this kind of communication, this kind of architecture path is cost effective path. At the same time, if any traffic consumption, any congestion should be happen, it can be difficult to debug the error process. That is a major disadvantage of my tree topology structure values only. And the next one we calling as a mesh topology. What is mesh topology? When you see this mesh topology, So here every system is interconnected to some other system values only. So here I'm using this n number of customs are there, n number of systems are there. So every system is interconnected to another number of system values only. We calling as a NC2 values only, which means n number of systems, which is n into n minus 1 by 2 kind of system values are there. For example, if my network architecture n 10 systems are connected over there, so which is 10 into, so 10 minus 1 by 2 factorial kind of system should be happens over here, because here every system is sharing information to the other system values only. So in previously we discussing about this either ring topology or bus topology or star topology. So one server system is there, one hub kind of system is there, that system is sharing information to the other system values only. But while coming to this mesh topology services, so here every system, so here connected to other system values only. So while discussing in previous sessions, we discussing about this distributed system values only. What is distributed system? So every system is interconnected to some other system values only. So we calling as a interconnected system values only. That is distributed system values only. The same process which we are implementing in this mesh topology. So every system is interconnected to some other system. So the sharing of information between this all the systems should be happens over in this mesh topology service values only. So what is a mesh topology? Mesh topology is similar to my distributed system values only. So here what are the information present in the one system, it can able to share information to all the other system who are present in the similar network architecture values only. That we calling as a mesh topology. And similarly the another important topology that we calling as a hybrid topology. What is hybrid topology? In the name itself we calling as a hybrid, which means is a combination of multiple networks. When you see in the previous slide, there we calling as we are using this bus topology values as well as the star topology values. But here in the hybrid topology values, here I am using this bus topology services, here I am using this mesh topology services, or else the ring topology services. All the things I am using here, which means in this hybrid topology, I can able to using this multiple types of topology services, that we calling as a hybrid topology. Nowadays, in the real-time world communication path, we are using this hybrid topology services because my information is sharing, the information is transmitted between the network presence over here. So that should be which in the form of this communication path network, which is hybrid topology some communication path values only. So what is the information communication over here? That should be the bus topology services or ring topology services or mesh topology services. So based upon the requirement, I can able to choose this hybrid topology service values only. So because of this one, I can able to utilize the all the channels. So what is the major advantage of this hybrid topology? Because what are the channel presence over the network? I can able to utilize all the channels in appropriate manner values only. That is a major advantage of this hybrid topology. But what is the difficulty I'm facing here? Because while establishing these kind of multiple topology services in a single network architecture, that is a major hectic problem values only. Because while I'm establishing this bus topology services or hybrid topology service or ring topology services, so any issues, any debugging is issues happening, any information congestion should be happening, any information failure should be happening. That should be very difficult to handling these kind of hybrid topology services. But at the same time, the utilization of channel is very important in the communication world. So that is we calling as a hybrid topology. So in these sessions, we are majorly focusing about these two important topics. One is inter-networking path. Second one is topology networking services. So what is inter-networking? The communication between these multiple LAN connections, multiple WAN connections, to establishing with the help of this a physical addressing schema, a logical addressing schema, that we calling as the inter-networking. And what is topology? To establishing any kind of networking architecture, we are using this multiple topology services are there. So what is multiple topology services? Either should be bus topology services or ring topology services or star topology services or mesh topology as well as hybrid topology services. So with help of these kind of topology services, I am able to establish one kind of network architecture. So from this network architecture, we can able to share the information from source to destination. That is a topology services. And what is importance of topology services? The information is sharing, the distributed system information sharing, that is happening with help of this networking architecture path values only. That we calling as a topology services. And in the next session, we are focusing about this transmission mode. What is transmission mode? How we are able to establish in this transmission mode between a point-to-point communication to multi-point communication. So all the systems, the transmission modes plays a vital role because information comes by the point-to-point connections or point to many connections or made to many connections. Either go for the simplex communication or off duplex communication or duplex communication, which is unidirectional communication or a bidirectional communication. So there we focusing about this transmission mode. So in the next section, we much focusing about this transmission mode. Thank you.